Okay, hi, I'm Daisy, and I'm here to talk about women and men in the military and how I think that we should be treated separate but equal. So, I'm going to start off by a very famous quote from Amelia Earhart. She was a female pilot in the military. So, women, like men, should try to do the impossible, and when they fail, their failure should be a challenge to others. Even as one of the most influential women in the military, the first actually to fly across the Atlantic Ocean in the military solo. Amelia Earhart knew that women in the military should be valued just as much as men. However, as much as I believe and we believe that women should be treated equally to men overall, the belief is that women and men should be treated separate but equal as far as mentally goes, as far as physically goes, because we are the same, but not really, right? So I want to get started right away with our mental, right? Women and men, we were created different. In whatever type of sense you want to believe, everybody believes differently, but our bodies, scientific wise, they were created different. Our development, even as children, females tend to develop a little bit quicker than males do, right? And there's a reason for it. So on 023.org, it shows that the differences in the brain reflected in somewhat different developmental timetables of girls and boys. So by most measures of sensory and cognitive development, girls are slightly more advanced as far as vision, hearing, memory, smell, touch, and all those things than males. It doesn't mean that males aren't going to get there. It just means that we develop a little bit faster. And why I think this is important to state and why I think this is an important detail to have is because mentally, in our jobs and what is done in the military, you're put under a lot of pressure, right? You're put under a lot of pressure, maybe depending on if you're infantry or not, or you're put under a lot of pressure having to make decisions that may cause a team of people to, not make it through this mission or make it through this mission, and people's lives are in your hand, your team's life is in your hand. And an example that I like to use is that when you go on a mission and you have a male and a female, and a situation happens where you have to pull a trigger. The female will take her time to pull the trigger because her mental state is overthinking the situation, overanalyzing the situation. Should I do this? Should I not do this? What is the consequence that will go behind me doing this? Whereas a male will just pull on command. Someone's yelling at a male, telling him, pull the trigger, the male's going to pull the trigger because they know the difference that in this second, it's life or death, right? They're not thinking about the outcome, what's going to happen. They're just going to do what is told, and because it's being commanded. It's not to say that they're brainwashed. You can argue that. It's to say that they themselves know that this is their mission, and they have that one-track mind, and they know what needs to get done. Whereas as far as a female, she may think about it over time. It might take her a little bit more time to make that decision. But overall, they have different mindsets, right? And then, not only in that moment is it difficult, but after the fact, where a lot of females and males in the military go through PTSD because of the things that they've done, the things that they've seen, right? And this all ties into a female is able to overcome the action a lot quicker. This female, she will claim that she had PTSD because she's not ashamed. She knows that going to get help for PTSD makes her stronger, right? She knows that she endured something and that she alone can't solve it. So she's going to go to get help, to seek help, because she can't get past the action that she did. And when she's there, different sciences, different things are developed for the female brain, right? So, hey, let's help her out through this, and she will endure and she will get over it a lot quicker. Whereas as far as males, their mindset's a little bit different because they are taught that they are weak if they seek help. They are taught that if they can't handle it by themselves, they're not man enough or male enough. So in the stats overall, when you look online, it shows that 13% of women have PTSD, whereas 6% of males have PTSD. And that's simply because males are afraid to go ask for help because they're looked down upon when they ask for help. Even though our military PTSD health and development it's trained around the male. It pertains more to the male. It helps the male overcome PTSD differently. It caters to the male. It caters to their mind. It caters to what's going to help, right? Because in the past, the military was more male based. And now, again, we go back to women and men being equal but separate. Both of their minds are capable of doing the same thing but differently. Women might think about it more, might overcome it more, and they don't feel weak by seeking help. Whereas as far as males, they don't need to think about it. It's harder for them to seek help. And once they overcome it, there's more programs in place to help them overcome it because it might take them a little bit longer once they finally realize that they are not weak for seeking help. But yet, we have these programs in place to help both. And it's very, very important. It's very, very important that both male and female are equal. They're equally important, but they should be helped separately, right? And now, as far as that's mental goes, now I want to talk about physical. So in the military, we have tests, right? Physical fitness tests that you have to meet requirements in order to join, and in order every 6 months to a year, you actually have to take a physical fitness test to know that you're capable of still doing your job and that you're physically able to, do whatever is thrown your way. So prior to 2020, there was a physical fitness test that was 2-minute push-ups, 2-minute sit-ups, and 2-mile run. Male and female were not put on the same standard. They were not put on the same scale because it was proven, right, that men are physically stronger than women on average. A study in the journal found that men had an average of 26 pounds, and women also exhibited about 40% less upper body strength and 33% less lower body strength on average than males. Again, goes back to my point that male and female weren't built the same. They just weren't, right? So again, back to 2019, the physical fitness test was a lot different. And, men and females, same age group, 17 to 21, a female had to run her 2-mile in under 15 minutes in order to get 100%, whereas a male had to run the 2-mile in under 13 minutes in order to get 100%. And why is that? It's because our bodies are not the same. Our physical attributes are not the same. The male's lower body is a lot stronger than the female's, right? And then you have your push-ups. Again, the male's upper body is a lot stronger. For a female not to fail the push-ups between the ages of 17 to 25, 26, 27, you only had to do 17 push-ups to get 100%. Maybe at the most, they max out at 42. But males had to do at least 70 push-ups to get 100%. At least. To even get close to it. I mean, the difference is just substantial. And that alone shows that our bodies are not the same, right? However, the new Army Physical Fitness Test that was implemented in 2020, it is now more based on your job specific, right? So if you want to join the infantry, this is the requirement. You have to be able to do body carries, you have to be able to do deadlifts, you have to be able to do sprints, you have to be able to do push-ups, you have to be able to do pull-ups. And the standard is not equal to men and women, it's equal to that job, right? So if you're a male and you're a female, you're going to go up against each other in a sense. but not really. And you're going to be held to the same exact standard as a male. But a woman is not going to be capable of doing the same. And I feel that by creating this new physical fitness test, they made it seem like women and men are equal again. And when studies show that our bodies aren't equal, and now, does it really make us different? No. And does it really, it puts different pressures on women to have that same standard, to have to be that equal partner, that equal person as a male, right? Which is fair and it's capable, it's just a lot harder and it's different pressures, right? So, I mean, you can argue that many feminist women believe that we are capable, that we as women can do the same exact thing a male can. I mean, we can run the same, but it just might take us longer. We can do the same amount of push-ups, the same amount of sit-ups, the same amount of weight. However, it is proven that we can. However, it's not, I mean, our bodies aren't meant to be exactly the same. There's a reason why we're different, which is important. It's important that we're not equal, but we are, right? So we're separate but equal. The male is just as special as the female, and the female is just as special as the male. But why the women should be held to the standard of the woman, as far as the male should be held to the standard of the male, right? So in conclusion, I want to go back to the quote that I started, where women, like men, should try to do the impossible, and when they fail, their failures should be a challenge to others. Amelia was a strong feminist woman who set the bar high for all women in the military. She proved that a woman can do the same job as a male, and she never gave up until she accomplished her dream. But rather than be exactly the same, women should use their success or her success to make that the new standard for women. We should differentiate ourselves, make that the new standard for women. Make that our score and our limit that they have to reach, and leave the males to do their standard and be just as equal, but in the male sense. And women be just as equal, but in the female sense. And that way we can all be equal, but separate. Thank you.